So, Da Vinci is the first architect of human anatomy and knowing the human being in detail. So, this is the first sketch of your renal arteries, abdominal aorta, and the major organs in human being. I have only one slide to tell you the story of hypertension, the data. So, hypertension, heart failure, and stroke MI is a disease of the presidents, United States, and their people. And they have lived in the era where there was not much data. So they lived in the era of data-free science, hardly any data to treat them. These three gentlemen were sitting just before the World War II, how to end the war and to defeat Germans. And all of them had hypertension and all of them died due to some kind of mortality due to hypertension stroke. The distinct personality was Churchill. He died at the age of 91. He had major strokes. He was a heavy smoker. Hardly any treatment during those periods and hardly any data on drug therapy, device therapy, forget the RDN. Now, why we are talking about the data on RDN? Initially thought the kidney is the organ. The nerves surrounding the kidney is the major cause of accelerated hypertension, deeper and non-deeper, drug responder, non-responders, early hypertension, young, sleep apneas. They are the people where you give beta blockers, stress, lifestyle modification, yoga, etc. It works. So not only kidney and the sympathetic system, it is the brain, maybe an organ for hypertension. From there, we move to liver. So if you denervate the liver, that is a major source of adrenaline in your body because it's a huge organ. So if you denervate the liver and the kidney, perhaps you can reduce the insulin resistance, hypertension, and the adrenergic drive in your body. The brain autonomic system, there are different devices available now, adrenals, sir has mentioned. The heart is the organ of hypertension. So why the heart is the organ of hypertension? Heart is also highly innervated organ. Once you do heart transplant, it is denervated. But it can re-innervate. So pig's heart also get humanized with time. So heart, if you chase the interval, AV interval, now there is a device called AVIM published in EuroPCR. And it does reduce the blood pressure. So this sympathetic, parasympathetic, AV interval is very important to control the blood pressure. Baroreceptor reflex and the vascular endothelium, the pulmonary bed may be an organ of hypertension. The gilibisiran, that gene silencing in the liver, the basic thing of this basic ingredient of hypertension is angiotensin. So whatever drug you give, ACE inhibitor, ARBs, or ARNI, it inhibits the final common pathway of hypertension. So what's new in hypertension before going into the data? ARNI as an antihypertensive in Japan and China, aldosterone synthase inhibitor, baxdrostat as an antihypertensive, these aprocitentan, newer MRAs, gilibisiran, gene silencing, and gene editing. And RDN rise from masses, this is a very new and very elegant way of coming into shape with lot of data. So there are 6 SAM control trial, all of them are positive. 6 methods of doing renal denervations. One is Medtronic spiral, ultrasound system. There is one more ultrasound system, TVAS, network from China, alcohol, and transurethral. This is not a large, the transurethral RDN do not have large randomized clinical data. If you do not have any access to renal artery, if you cannot give dye to identify the renal artery, go transurethric. And this is a VERB system. And recently, ozone, if you inject 8 ml of ozone, 15 ml of oxygen through CT scan guided in the ganglia, you can denervate, you can do the neurolysis. How long it lasts, how much it gives, and how long it lasts, because it's a costly therapy. We have data up to 10 years from the Australian population and German population. Does it work day and night? Yes, of course, deeper, non-deeper, super deeper, risers, non-responder, responders to drug, it works. Is there any legacy effect? Yes, as I said, do RDN today and tomorrow, day after, year after, up to 10 years, the RDN works. Off and on medicines, excellent safety data, single to double digit blood pressure reductions. So it works along with the lifestyle modifications, and it works beyond hypertension. These are other areas. So what are these 6 pillars of evidence? We have spiral off, spiral on, Radiance Solo, Radiance Trio, Radiance 2, and Network China. So these are the devices. As I mentioned, the last device, the aortic ganglia, the ozone oxygen, and the TVAS, this 2 ultrasound system. One is Record, will be available in India. And these are the timeline of guidelines. Started in 2017, AHA. Now it has been endorsed in ERA and ESH 2023. 17th November 2023, because of the huge data, it got approval, 2 systems. One is Medtronic Spiral and other one is ultrasonic Record. So if you really want to get RDN done, which country you should travel? You should travel to Taiwan, you should travel to Malaysia, Spain and Italy, because it is indicated for uncontrolled hypertension, resistant hypertension, drug intolerance, non-adherence, high CV risk, by choice. So it's a democratic choice. If I want renal denervations, if I go to Malaysia and Taiwan, doctor will not hesitate to give this therapy to you. But if you go to European territory, I don't know about the Ajay's heartland, but European territory, non-adherence, high CV risk is a red line. But if it is uncontrolled hypertension, resistant hypertension, drug intolerance, and patient's choice, it is a green line. So 2 and 1, GFR must be more than 40. Now this is the price slide of mine. So this is delta on the left. So what are the parameters you measure? Office, O means office, A means ambulatory, O diastolic blood pressure, or ambulatory diastolic blood pressure. Ajay Kirtane has presented a long-term data on simplicity. So you have 36 months, you have 3 months, 6 months, 2 months, mild to moderate hypertension, resistant hypertension, radiance off drug, on drug, Network China 6 months, full first-in-man and global simplicity registry at 6 months, TVAS EuroPCR 2024, reduced pilot study, AVIM 2024 with a special pacemaker. Now, what are the numbers it gives? It reduces 3.2 in the first column, Lancet 2017 spiral up pilot study, minus 7.7 millimeter blood pressure, 4.1 in ambulatory. So reductions of office systolic blood pressure is higher than the ambulatory systolic blood pressure. Obviously, the systolic blood pressure reduction will be higher than the diastolic blood pressure. And out of this data, which study gives the maximum number in the reduction of systolic blood pressure, that is Network China, 19 millimeter, 8.7 on ambulatory systolic blood pressure, diastolic blood pressure 10.1. So the Network China, the mechanism is little different. They have 6 electrodes, it's a basket. It takes the form once you can change the shape of the basket. So it hugs the renal artery. It treats only the main branches, unlike your spiral, which treats the main branches, branches, and sub-branches. So TVAS is another ultrasound system, and it reduces 13.5. So as we are progressing with knowing the system better, knowing the territory or the zone of denervations better, we are gaining more and more in the number of systolic blood pressure reductions. So how much the blood pressure reduction happens with the pacemaker, the AVIM blood pressure, AVIM pacemaker, just by fooling the brain, the sympathetic parasympathetic system, changing the AV interval continuously. So it's basically a simple double chamber pacemaker, you just add a software there. So sympathetic system, parasympathetic system are important in regulations, accelerations, and maintenance of your blood pressure in the human body. The 6 SAM control trial of RDN, the changes in office and 24 hours blood pressure, ABPM, RDN minus 8 point. This is basically kind of a mean. Some people may get 2 millimeters, some people may get 30 millimeters. So on an average, 8.5, in sample 2.5. So we have rich data now, and you must believe in God. Next thing is your data. So 9-year legacy is still going on. Some of the studies, 10-year data, JACC, February 2023. There is not much change in the eGFRs. It doesn't do any harm to your kidneys. So how do you know that which patient will respond to your treatment? So I have just attached the radial, and this is cyan blue wire, and one end is attached to your skin through a needle, and other end as the tip end of the regular PDCA wire, heparinized during angioplasty. And if you paste them, and usually it is recommended 800 per minute. I do not know how, but it is quite discomfortable to the patient. So we give some fentanyl-like thing. And if you paste them at burst rating, there will be some reduction of the blood pressure. Those who have a reduction of the blood pressure, they do better with the RDN. So there is a study available and published in EuroPCR this time. So this is the way we go. This is the short AB delay. It can be proved that altering this sympathetic, parasympathetic, you reduce the afterload, the pressure-volume relationship does changes, and ladies and gentlemen, RDN is not a fiction, it's a reality. I said it before, I'll say it again. Thank you very much for your attention.